she taken sick, and she knows she wasn't gonna get well. She said, Daddy, when I come to die, tell what I should do. When they put me down in the ground, please now.
The blues is a wholly American invention. Born from the voices of black sharecroppers, churchgoers, and rail workers.
The real old blues don't call for no jumping. If you go to jumping, that ain't the blues.
In 1922, an emerging recording company based in the small town of Grafton, north of Milwaukee, made music history with the launch of its Race Records series. It is estimated that a quarter of all race records released nationally between 1922 and 1932 were on the Paramount label. Notable artists such as Ma Rainey, Blind Lemon Jefferson, Charlie Patton, Skip James, Son House, and Blind Blake traveled from the South to Wisconsin to record their first tracks. Paramount's recording studio is located in Grafton, a predominantly white, highly segregated town. Because of racial tensions, Paramount housed its non-white artists in segregated neighborhoods in Milwaukee, such as Brewers Hill, an area still affected by redlining a century later. In the 1930s, it could take artists up to 2 hours to travel from their boarding houses to Grafton. Some chose to extend their stays in Milwaukee to continue recording. One such artist was Blind Blake, the famous ragtime guitarist who recorded over 80 tracks for Paramount between 1926 and 1932. After marrying Beatrice McGee around 1931, they lived at 621 West Brown Street. The property has been torn down since, but would be located near the James W. Beckham Park. Unfortunately, Blake's health began to decline shortly after. In April of 1933, he was hospitalized with pneumonia, but eventually was able to return home. On December 1st, 1934, he died while en route to the hospital after suffering a pulmonary hemorrhage. He was buried in Glen Oak Cemetery in an unmarked grave, on the same road as Paramount's pressing plant and recording studio. Tragically, Paramount went out of business in 1935 due to financial troubles stemming from the Great Depression. In an effort to survive, Paramount sold most of its master recordings as scrap metal. In that time, master recordings were the original metal discs used to press copies of the records. Rumor has it that disgruntled employees, mad about losing their jobs, took 78s and masters from the pressing plant and threw them into the Milwaukee River. In modern day, many have attempted to find these lost pieces of history, but there is no documentation of any being found. Down the road from Blake's house, decades after his death, artists like Reverend Gary Davis, Uka White, and Mississippi Fred McDowell, all who had recorded in the 1930s, were brought out of retirement by blues enthusiasts and invited to perform to a mostly white, younger audience. This time period would be known as the Blues Revival. Locally, the Avant-Garde Coffee House in the 1960s was a place for them to play. The venue attracted a blend of college students, beatniks, and folk enthusiasts. Reverend Gary Davis, who had also been a blind bluesman during the 1920s and 30s, had once been an associate of Blind Blake. The two shared a mutual respect for each other as guitarists, and Davis would often speak highly of Blake with admiration. Davis believed that Blake had died violently, never knowing the truth. Davis claimed that Blake had been struck by a streetcar in Chicago during the 1930s. Another tale told by bluesman Big Bill Brunzi suggested that Blake had fallen drunk in Chicago's snowstorm, and too overweight to get back up, froze to death. Though Davis would return to Milwaukee later in life, he would never know that his friend had quietly passed away a mile from where Davis would perform. The avant-garde would continue to bring counterculture to the East Side. It would see a transition from beatniks and blues to hippies and rock. It would not last forever, as in October of 1968 it would close its doors due to various factors ranging from neighborhood noise complaints to a drug bust. Today, the blues continues in Milwaukee through local musicians, small venues, and community events. Bars and clubs across the city regularly host blues nights, keeping the tradition alive. While crowds may be small and the names may be lesser known, the music continues to be played.
That's the blues, B-L-U-S-D.